Is it on? I think I'm on. There we go. So hello. It's a bit different today. I'm on my PC today. PS4's in the shop. But today is not a combo guide, a tier list, play this character. We're trying to influence you in any way, shape or form. What we're doing today is a series of case studies on all characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And today we're covering the fake Android 21. The fake Cell, Android 21. Now at a glance, when we first see Android 21, not only is she a waifu character, but she has everything in her arsenal. She's one grabs, great cross-up buttons, cool combos, and she eats candy. Like this move here, a great 2H. And see if I do this. And she literally eats you as candy. So if you enjoy a character who has kind of this whole range of pulls, great movement, very slippery movement, great key control, great movement, and you like to move really fast on the screen, and great keep away, then she's for you. Now, as always in these series, we talk about characters in zones. So you're going to hear me talk about close range, mid, and far. So these are the concepts we use to kind of keep it more grounded. I'm going to go through buttons, obviously on the ground and in the air, supers, specials, before we move on to win conditions and game plans, which is kind of be the bulk of what we're going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, Android 21 has an array of moves, so 5L is 6 frames. She can chain that as well, which is really good for hit confirms. She can do the same for a 2L, which is only -2, which has a great range actually. So if you look at this, it hits even from the furthest range. That's really good. So this is being -2. It's a good way to end your strings. And she can always kind of continue pressure. Now her 5LL advances. Well, as you know, when you're advancing, what that means is you don't have to walk forward after. So she does LL, LL, LL. It does push her back a bit, but she does advance slightly while pushing the opponent back. So this is really good to kind of do this here. And then she's still in your face to kind of continue pressure, but not indefinitely. That's -4, and that is 9 frames. So it's -4. Again, it's still safe. The 5M being -6, but this hits just about mid-range. So this is a good check for being only -4. So this is kind of her move to check. So you see that's 10 frames there, and up close it's still 10. So this is -6, but this is primarily in the mid-range to kind of confirm hits with 21. She has her 2M, it's -10. She can also do a 3M a bit further out, so akin to kind of Kid Buu, so she can do a 3M there. And you see there, it's a bit different. So she doesn't have like a double version, she has a 2M. And then she has a 3M, which is a bit further out, which is -10. So these are primarily used in conjunction with other specials to get stuff out. A 5H, -8. This hits at mid-range, so this is a really great poke to use in conjunction with her other tools. So this is something you can use. 2H, one of the greater 2Hs in the game, has fantastic range, as you see there. This might as well be a poke. So this is one of the furthest reaching 2Hs, combined with her other specials. Is a really powerful tool to have in your arsenal. It is on the slower end, however, the range kind of makes up for it. Now, in the air, 21 has her cross-up JM, and because of her tail, she's able to cross up from very close. So most characters have to do some kind of string and go from here, whereas with 21, she could be in your face, and in one moment, from throwing here, she can cross you up. So that's really powerful. Her JM is kind of an approach tool, so this is really good from closing distance from mid-range to close. So if you're really unsure of how to get in using the JL or the JM, like here you can use, you can also use the JMJL. That's JMJL. You can use the JH to approach or to stop drills. So if your opponent decides to super dash, let's just say, let's see if I can do this. Set this up. This is gonna be hard to do. So there you go. So this is a kind of a good move to kind of throw out there to kind of shield your approach versus your opponent. So if you can use IAD backwards and H, so it's really, really powerful to kind of shielding your movement while you're moving on the screen. Is really good. Her JL, really good JL. So opponent was to super dash. That's one more time. Oh, we're getting really old at this. PC Woo. She has an okay JL to kind of anti super dashes, but again, you'll be using the H to kind of go around that. Now let's spend not so long on buttons. Let's go on to supers. So specials, she has this beam that goes nigh full screen. Very good for kind of punishing if your opponent decides to do, I don't know, a beam on the ground. If your opponent decides to do a beam on the ground. Hold on. For some reason you want to punish your opponent and you want to be able to get another super out. Really good way to kind of punishing your opponent there. So the opponent really has to worry about being wary of that one there. She also has a level 3 where she turns you to candy, and she has 2 level 3s actually. She has an air version. So they're pretty cool. Pretty cool level 3. Level 3. Now let's go into a special because we're gonna spend quite some time here because she has quite a few specials. 21. Let's go for a 5S first. So she has a 5S. She's a really good 5S, straight, really fast. She has a 2S or 3S, so any direction to down. This will go over most beams on the ground, or I mean most other things on the ground. So she jumps up, so this is good, very good to throw out of her. She has 236L, she's on the ground, see that? 236M, 236H, which makes her +1. So that's really good kind of to use this 21. She also has a 236S, command grab. So your opponent cannot guard this, as you see here. And it obviously ends the stand up now. She has a, as you saw at the bottom, she gains a steal. So depending on the character, she gains different specials. So she has the air version as well. Let's see this quickly. She has the air version. Now, depending on what steal you use, with 21, you get a various normal amount of things. So I'll show you right now. So on the ground, you get plumb and a half. So if I was to come on, do it again, I get plumb and a half here. If I change that to this, I get this as well. Depending on the characters, and that, I get an energy blast. So depending on the character, that's if I do a specific one. If I do this one as well, I get this solar flare. Get the same. This I get a grab. Barrier sphere, so I get a barrier here, it's invincible, and one of my favorites is the warp. So depending on when you do it, you can get a warp as well, so that's really cool. When you have all of them, however, if you do 236H now, and your opponent decides to block, she does this and gets to be +24 from far, and up close, she gets to be up to +20 to +21. So up close, and once you have all the steals in place, you get this. A unique property that she has as well is if she does her level 3, let me take all this off. If she does her level 3 where she eats you, if she does her level 3 where she does eat you, you see that she gained every single one there. So at the bottom there, you see that I have 2 barriers and I have 2 of the volleys, so I'm able to do this depending on which one I do. So if I do 2v6S, that means it's the very first one. 214S is the third one. If I jump and do 2v6S, that'll be the second one. If I do 214S in the air, that'll be the fourth one. So this is how you can kind of keep track for yourself as you're playing as 21. Like I said, there's and this as your opponent as well. You can use this to kind of keep track while you're playing against your opponents as well. So it's really helpful. Now I can spend forever speaking on 21 specials and her supers, but what we're here to talk about her win conditions and her game plan and what characters really help her with this. So let's delve straight into that, shall we? Now, 2 things on 21 for a partner. At face value, is she has very damaging roots because of how her 214L works. So right there, her 214L can work from mysterious ranges. So we do it from here. combined with the right assist, her 2-on-4 allows up to extensions. So if I do the correct combo, if I remember it, it's an easy combo. So as you see there, with easy assists, I was able to do an easy combo. So assists that allow her for extensions, for 21, those are really, really vital. So with the correct combos, obviously not the one I used there, she can have very damaging routes, which will allow her to put her opponent faster in the corner. And as we know, because she has a command grab, your opponent's not able to walk away. So your opponent has to be very, very wary. When your opponent's in the corner, they have to be very wary. So characters with a command grab are really powerful there. So her characters that allow her extensions, we saw that with Goku and Bardock here was very, very easy there. Secondly, she has great buttons. So I know she has very good buttons. You saw that with -2. She has advancing normals here as well, but at -4. So she's going to be staggering. All I mean staggers are when we're doing pressure, stopping it, and going in -3. So at worst she's -4. And even here she can do specials where she's +1. So by herself, she's very powerful at doing this. She doesn't really need help here because while she's moving around, she's gaining meter. As you know, in Dragon Z, you move when you gain meter. So she needs assists, or one game that she has that keep her opponents grounded, while giving her access to something as powerful as her JM, her command grab, and staggers. So assists that keep the opponent grounded. So if we look at Bardock here, if I combine the 2-on-4L, my opponent's grounded. I'm +17. So if I'm using assists like that, I can combine with command grab, put my opponent in situations where they really have to guess. I can do this. I can cross up. Oh, I'm doing terrible on PC, my bad. I can do stuff like this. I can do super dash. I can do all these things here. I can even do, if I had this in the air, I can even do really cool things like solar flare. So I can really do stuff like this, combined with the right things that I can do really, really cool same side things if I have the correct assists that keep my opponent grounded and honest. So the assists that allow her to, so if we break down again, assists that allow her to do extensions from her 2-on-4L, and also assists that allow me to either continue pressure with my staggers, or allow me to the threat of the command grab, or cross up, and my opponent to continue this pressure. Because of my buttons, my opponent has to take a risk. So assists that allow me to do that. So if we go to an assist that we have here, we have Bardock A, which is obviously really helpful for strings, and we saw Bardock A and base group A were helpful in doing that. Now if we go down to the B versions, we can see with Bardock B, has a lot of blocks done. Is it helpful for 21? Let's see. So with 21, I can do setup situations like this. So potentially, versus my opponent, this is really hard for me to do. So yeah, I can probably set up a... Probably... Never done this before in my life. So one more time. I have to do L. Oh, this is hard. This is hard. This is a bit hard for me. See there. There we go. So you can do that cross up M, or you can do probably the same side as this again. So there. So I can. So with Bardock B, I'm able to kind of do that mix up there. Or I can even do the traditional cross up as well. Because it's so plus, I can put, my opponent has to block this. So my opponent has to respect this. You see that's like +25 there in this situation. My opponent has to respect this. So these are the things he's kind of looking for. Where your opponent has to be still while you do a command grab, to cross up, or even with your stagger. Now with Goku here, so even in combos, let's do it in combos. Let's see if Bardock B helps in combos. So in combos as well. So he helps in there as well. So he's very helpful as well. And also from afar, Bardock B might even allow us to do, let's see this for me. So I'm even able to confirm from 2S. So which is really helpful with 21 as well. Now let's move over to base Goku B. Now base Goku B, as you see there, it's not really helping here. It's not helping in combos because it's not a combo assist. It's just helping there, so it's not really helping me stagger. So it might not be an assist you kind of use for that. Now if we move over to the C versions, quickly, if we move to C versions, we have Bardock C. Now obviously in combos, obviously C assists are really helpful in combos. But obviously Bardock C doesn't hit that. So we might have to change the route. So let's do it again. Let's try base Goku C. See, we get the extension. Now let's go into locking down the opponent. So if we do a string, it takes a bit too long there, so it might not be something you use there, but at the same time your opponent's going to stay grounded because now they can't jump away. So if they're trying to jump away, let's just say. See, there, it doesn't keep them grounded, but so it's a bit helpful there, so something you could think about to use. And base Goku, yeah, it reacts like a kind of a beam assist, so yeah, you could potentially use that as well. To use whatever mix up. So these are the things you kind of think about when you are using 21, that these assists that kind of help her. Now if we look on the other side, we have Gohan A. So in strings, it's not that great in strings. But there, it's still able to give 21 the potential of doing a stagger. And put in these situations like here, so my opponent still has to guess between if I do this and pull the assist, I'm still plus 29. So my opponent still has to guess between command grab, so that's a bit too fast. My opponent still has to guess between that, so you could potentially use Gohan there, and obviously in combos, Gohan obviously works. See, even there. So now with Vegito is kind of a different one. So Vegito in strings might not work for doing a normal string with Vegito A. However, we did say she was good at staggers. So your opponent will always want to press when you're 21. Because this is -2, your opponent wants to press, right? So if we kind of with Vegito, we have this unique situation with 21 where you can kind of bait them with Vegito assist. So you can, if you combine that with 21, you can do staggers. Characters with obviously good normals, you can use that. So this is something you can think about when you're 21. Where you have the threat of the command grab, and your opponent, because all of her majority of her specials on block, if you look at them, her 2-on-4L is -5. Look at here again. So your opponent really wants to press. So if we combine that -5 element with Vegito, it's really helpful with allowing her to kind of. It might not help with her with a string. But you saw that it was helpful for staggers and really baiting the opponent out to do stuff. So those are the kind of the assists you're looking for. Assists where your opponent presses a button and you can kind of punish them for it. Now we can speak forever about what helps us, and let's go fighting against. It seems like she has everything. Right? Now fighting against 21, she doesn't have great vertical control. So what I mean by that is she's very good at keeping you when you're on the ground. However, this angle here, aside from this move here, she doesn't have anything here to kind of stop her opponent. Unless she's in the air herself, she doesn't really have anything to kind of stop her opponent when your opponent is at these angles here. If you're kind of jumping around, if you're here, she has nothing to stop there. So if you have great beams by hit from this angle, she has to be very wary of that. Secondly, without resources, if I take away the meter, her command grab is negligible. So what I mean by that is the damage coming from it is there is pretty much no damage. Yes, you gain the steals. You gain her steals, her command grab when she gains these things there. But there's no damage. So without meter, the command grab is painless. Even though she gains these specials, the command grab itself doesn't really lead into big damage unless obviously she has 3 bars, 1 bar, and you're nearly about to die. The command grab itself isn't a strong tool unless she has the resources. So combined with the fact that when she's moving around and controlling space, when you're fighting against her, the fear of command grab, it doesn't really have to be there. So you really can't block it out and just kind of wait for the command grab. And even if you do get hit by the command grab, once she has stolen from you with 1 command grab, she can't command grab you after. So right now, I can't use the same command grab. So once I've stolen like this on the ground, I can't command grab again. So that's something your opponent kind of gets privy to. So once you've used the option, unless you've used the steal, you're unable to do the command grab again. And like I just said, there's no damage. So that's something you really have to worry about when you're playing 21. Now let's go back to character select screen. So we talked about with 21, how she really enjoys characters. She's very damaging. She's a very damaging character. She can control a lot of space. She really enjoys characters that allow her to do her 2-on-4L, or jump 2-on-4L from any instance, from a super dash, from wherever else. He likes that the corner carry, not just corner but extension. So we saw with bar A, bar B, even not so much his C, they were helpful. We saw with base Q's 8 was really helpful, but his B was not so much helpful, but his C was helpful too. We also saw that she has great buttons and options, so assists that keep the opponent grounded, or assists that allow her to continue pressure with staggers, that allow her to do command grabs, give her access to the JM, are really vital for her. So either your opponent respecting you, we saw with Vegito assist, how Vegito's A assist came out really late and it punished the opponent for pressing. And we also saw with Bardock B, and we saw with base Q A, and also even Adok Gohan A, that you can just use these assists to kind of extend combos. So it depends on how you really want to use these assists, and how you really want to play with her. We saw fighting against 21. Her vertical control isn't really her best attribute. She does have 2v6M, but controlling that space above her head, she kind of struggles. So that might be something to think about with other assists. With herself, she's great at controlling the horizontal, but just above the vertical on that plane, unless she's in the air, which obviously restricts her options because she only has JS. That is something you really do have to think about when you are playing her. And we talked about with her command grab, two things. Without resources, her command grab is very negligible. What I mean by that is, unless she has 3 bars or even 1 bar, it barely does any damage. And once she has used one command grab, unless she's used the steal that she has gained, she cannot do it again. I repeat, she cannot do it again. So that's something you, as your opponent, once your opponent reveals the command grab, the fear of it is gone until she uses or expends that steal. But yeah, I hope this video helped someone. As always, like the video if you did like it. If you didn't, then it is what it is. Leave a comment as always. I want to create, like I said, we want to talk about characters, create a community where we really discuss things, and not just pick characters based on others' opinions, but really go into what characters need or how we feel we can help them, and if our styles can accommodate that. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Hopefully on my PS4. Peace.